Welcome to the EV Hotwire Newsroom, brought to you by Hopcharge, powering India's EV journey with on-demand doorstep charging. I'm your host, and tonight we bring you 6 major stories from what has been one of the most eventful weeks in the Indian electric vehicle industry this year. Let's get straight into it. We begin with Citroën, which has just relaunched its only EV in India. The car, now called the EC3X, arrives at a starting price of just 10,25,000 rupees ex-showroom. That is 1,74,000 rupees cheaper than the outgoing base variant. A significant price cut in a segment where every lakh counts. But Citroën has gone further. A new battery-as-a-service plan drops the upfront cost to just 6,89,000 rupees with a per-kilometer battery rental of 2 rupees 26 paise. For an urban commuter doing 30 kilometers a day, that monthly rental works out to under 2,000 rupees, far cheaper than fueling a petrol hatchback. The battery remains the same 29.2 kilowatt-hour unit, but software optimizations have pushed the MIDC range up by 79 kilometers to 325. New features include projector LED headlamps, 15-inch alloys, 6 airbags on the top trim, JBL audio and a wireless charger. The Tata Tiago EV and MG Comet now have a serious fight on their hands. From affordable to ultra-luxury, the Mercedes-Benz S-Class has received its first ever plug-in hybrid variant in India, the S450e. It pairs a 3-liter inline-6 petrol with a 22 kilowatt-hour battery, producing 435 horsepower and claiming 115 kilometers of electric-only range. Charging from 10 to 80% takes just 20 minutes on a 60 kilowatt DC charger. Priced between 2 crore 20 lakh and 2 crore 38 lakh, it is up to 53 lakh dearer than the BMW 7 Series at 1 crore 85 lakh, which relies on a 48-volt mild hybrid. The S-Class holds a 54 horsepower edge. The BMW counters on dimensions. But the real signal is this. When the flagship luxury sedan goes plug-in hybrid, no segment remains untouched by electrification. Moving to policy, Maruti Suzuki plans to ramp FY27 output by 22% to 28,20,000 vehicles, backed by 9 new products, 7 of them SUVs. Alongside, Maruti unveiled India's first flex-fuel passenger car, the Wagon R Flex Fuel, at 7,24,000, capable of running on up to E100 pure ethanol. Infrastructure, however, remains a challenge. India has just 50 to 100 E85 stations, targeting 500 by December 2026 and 5,000 by end 2027. Separately, Delhi NCR announced a 9,585 crore rupees scrappage scheme to retire older trucks and buses, a major boost for cleaner commercial transport. Now the week's most debated story. Reuters reports that Tata Motors will license China's Chery Freelander platform to locally build EVs under its premium Avinya brand, after its original JLR-based plan fell through. The first Avinya arrives in 2027, shipped as a CKD kit and assembled in Tamil Nadu, with a second EV in 2029. With EVs at 14% of sales and a target of 30% by 2030, Tata cannot wait. But the deal highlights India's growing dependence on Chinese EV technology, even as competitors Mahindra and JSW MG close in. On the numbers front, Tata's leadership remains commanding. The company has crossed 2.5 lakh cumulative EV sales, holding a 2/3 market share. FY26 saw over 92,000 EVs sold, up 43.4% year-on-year. New manufacturing at Panapakkam in Tamil Nadu adds scale alongside JLR, and Tata has reaffirmed net zero by 2040. Finally, BMW. The German giant is launching 27 products in India this year. 6 new models, 4 major updates, 17 facelifts, gunning for the #1 luxury position after closing the Mercedes gap to just 1,000 units. Three launches are EVs, including one claiming roughly 800 kilometers of range. EVs now make up 21% of BMW India sales, up from 8% in 2024, with a 60% luxury EV share. Record 2025 sales of 18,001 units marked 14% growth, and 10 new cities joined the network this year. And that is your week in India's EV landscape. From affordable cars breaking price barriers to luxury flagships going plug-in, from massive policy pushes to strategic bets on Chinese technology, the transition is accelerating everywhere you look.